Welcome back to Atlanta and Company. I'm Christine Pilara. Thank you for hanging out with me for this hour. Well, imagine being told that you had a 1% chance of living. That's what doctors told my friend after being diagnosed with cervical cancer. But it's her fight to survive that makes her story so very special. I told Archon Jackson about my friend Alyssa Phillips, and he now brings you her incredible story. Good morning.
Well, good morning. And an incredible story indeed.
Thank you for, first of all, I want to just give our viewers a little backdrop. You guys are always so great about giving him story ideas. I'm not trying to butt into your action because there's so many people to highlight in our great city. But this girl was remarkable. She's actually friends of my best friends. And I met her at a party a couple years ago and just loved her, clicked with her. And about weeks later, I found out through my friend Karen, she says, "You're not going to believe this. Alyssa has cervical cancer. It's bad." So I sent her a card. I just liked her. I said, "I don't even know if you remember who I am." And after that, she started a blog and writing about her experience. And she's an amazing writer. And I bawled my eyes out every single time. Her story is so inspiring, and I want to stop talking about it and let you listen. But thank you. It means so much to me that I knew you'd love her, and I knew you'd think that this story was worth having our viewers hear about.
What I think is wonderful here at Atlanta and Company, we want to recognize people making a difference, and we dedicate every Thursday to doing that. So thank you to you for submitting your story, and thank the staff of Atlanta and Company in supporting the effort to recognize people making a difference. Many times we recognize organizations, but here was a young lady that we met that literally finished a marathon and 3 weeks later was diagnosed with cancer that had spread through her body and given less than 1% chance to live. So here she was newly married, looking forward to life,
young.
And I think what encapsulates for all of us, we go through tough times. You never know how tough it's going to get and how to make it through it. And she's a real inspiration, and we're glad to bring the story to you.
Absolutely. Let's take a look.
It's great to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me on Atlanta Company. I'm really happy to be here.
Now, you are actual friends with Christine Pilara, our trusted host. What is she like outside of the studio?
You know, I'd love to tell a quirky story about her, but she's as fabulous as she looks on TV, and she's a wonderful friend, so I've no dirt on her. She's wonderful.
She's wonderful. You are a true inspiration.
Thank you.
Take us back to a marathon that you ran 3 years ago. And how your life changed shortly after.
Well, I'll tell you, I've been a runner for a long time, and 6 weeks before I was diagnosed with a very aggressive cancer, I had run my best time in a half marathon. Ironically, I think I actually uttered the words, "I've never felt better." So it was just a whirlwind after that. Was quickly diagnosed with a very rare type of cancer that was very progressed by the time it was found. And just time wasn't on my side.
The scales weren't in your advantage because they told you what percent chance?
It was less than 1% chance. There's little data.
How did they tell you that?
They made no bones about the fact that it was not in my favor. And yet, they didn't say it was impossible. And maybe that was the opening I saw. But yeah, it was definitely not stacked in my favor. I actually had a specialist at a National Cancer Center sit across a table from me and say, "You do know what this means, don't you?" And I backed my chair away and I said, "Thank you very much, we're done here." And I left.
When did you cry?
After the shock wore off, I remember a few times being at home and heaving. I mean, just heaving with sobs, because it was so much more than me. It was almost like my spirit cried for what was happening, for what was gonna happen, for what, you know, the life that had been taken away. You know, in essence, there was a death of who I was before. I remember a point walking into the bone marrow unit after my second transplant and knowing that I was going to have to be in there for at least 10, 14 days, and just willing myself to step across the line because it's a contained unit. and something in me just broke. And I had been a runner for all of these years, and I fell flat on my face right before the finish line. And my husband and my mom, who were there with me, literally just, you know, they picked me up and carried me the rest of the way, because I had run out of what I thought I had to do this, and I just ran out. And it was a scary place to be, to go beyond the breaking point.
What do you want to say to Atlanta?
I want to say thank you. The Atlanta community, some people that we didn't even know, reached out in just such amazing, beautiful ways that we will always be forever grateful for. And I really want to challenge and encourage people to just pick up the phone or send an email or a text and to that person that you know is struggling with something, and just say, you know, how can I help you? What can I do? Because the only wrong thing is to say nothing. And, you know, to support. You can be the one that saves a life. You know, you can donate bone marrow or blood or your time to help support research that is literally saving lives, and it saved mine.
Such an incredible story, and I think the thing
and
is...
And the good news is she is in remission.
She's in remission, and she had to go through so much, and she's back, and she works out, but the incredible story is she was such an amazing person before this, and so many people just wanted to help her, but now she's an inspiration to all of us. If you're having a bad day, or if anybody around you is being negative or you're being negative, I just want to pull like Alyssa out of my pocket and be like, really, you're going to be negative? Because look at what she went through. And I know there are people out there that are like that are true inspirations to all of us. So when we find them, we're just so glad we can highlight them. And she's actually going to be participating in a race that benefits the Bone Marrow Transplant Foundation.
Yeah, and what she was saying is donating blood or becoming, you can test your bone marrow to be a match to save someone's life. Obviously, her life is so precious and we get to enjoy it. But I thought her ending statements about reaching out to anyone, saying, how can I help?
Yeah.
It's got to be a dark, lonely place. And if there's anything we take from this story is there's people we know today that we can just call and say, how can I help?
Right.
Just knowing the loved one. She just had so many cards, so many pictures, and she had a vision board. And it's a happy ending. And it's because of the doctors here and the community support.
Right, absolutely. Well, thank you again. I appreciate you
covering that. And the Bone Marrow Walk
is
this weekend.
The Bone Marrow Walk is this weekend,
State.
and it's not too late to participate or join her team. So just
Team Alyssa.
Team Alyssa. So Google that. But thank you again.
Thank you.
So
thank Atlanta Company.
And if you would like to find out more about our Con Jackson or to submit story ideas, please visit contv.com. Well, get your calendars out. We have a list of some great weekend events that you will definitely want to attend. That's coming up next.